Thank you. So actually, the company I run is Massive Media, and we run two social networks. One is netlog.com, the other is true.com. And on those sites, every month, we receive 25 million unique visitors. But if I go outside Flanders, even outside, even in Brussels or Wallonia, no one has actually heard about us, or relatively few people have heard about us. And I'm always wondering, why is that? How is it possible that when you have so many users, not so many people actually have heard about you? Definitely in Europe. I think in the United States, this would have been completely different. But then I was talking to someone, and this person told me, Lorenz, it has nothing to do with the fact that you're a Belgian company, because I was always saying it's because we're just Belgian and nobody cares about Belgian companies. But she said, no, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the way you do your marketing and the way you actually promote yourself in these other countries. And the person talking to me was Mrs. Nelly Kroes, the Vice President of the European Commission, and also responsible for the digital agenda in Europe. And to be very honest, I was shocked. I was really shocked that she said that your marketing is crap. But then I said, okay, she's actually right. I have done an incredibly bad job with our company when it comes to marketing. We did a great job when it comes to localizing. Making sure that the site is translated in 35 different languages, making sure that we have moderation teams set up in each of those countries. So all these things work very well. But localizing a brand is a lot more difficult. It's a bigger challenge. It's much more expensive also. And actually, I'm here today to talk about the European dream. And the question, of course, is, do you believe in this European dream, Lorenz? Well, I have to be honest, I don't believe in it right now. Right now, it is not possible. I used to believe in it. I used to believe that it's possible to create a truly European company. Really a company which is accessible from everywhere in Europe. But to be very honest, if I look to our competitors in Europe, you have Hives in the Netherlands, Skyrock in France, Studieverzeichnis in Germany. All these companies, they built around their local country. They were only in one language often, and they only focused on one country. Now, if you look at those companies now, most of them are being vaporized. They are being vaporized by Facebook, by Twitter, by American companies. Many of those, if you look at their statistics, it's really sad. It saddens me a lot. Now, we're doing pretty good, to be honest, compared to the others. But on the other hand, I am not living the European dream, not at all. Now, do I believe in this European dream in the future? Yes, I think in the future it's possible to build a truly European company. But that would mean a couple of things. First of all, it means that we would need to convert 500 million people in Europe to bilingualism. And this language that they should speak is English. Actually, English right now is already the lingua franca. We're all speaking English here. But for consumers, definitely in the southern part of Europe, this is not always the case. They are not necessarily the same English speakers as we are. They don't often know the language, and it's not really a common language. We don't have a common language in our common market in Europe. And I think this is one of the biggest issues, definitely for media companies, to enter the European market. Now we have to do a lot more there. There's education that we have to change to make sure that we get to this bilingualism. There's radio stations. Here in Brussels, for example, there is not even an English radio station. I'm hoping, and I'm quite sure, that in the next couple of years, next couple of decades, this will actually change a lot. But right now, it's not even possible. Movies are still being dubbed to French and to many other languages. So really, that's a place where we have a lot of work to do in the future. Now, if you look to the place where we are here right now, and you look to all the speakers, actually, of the 33 speakers that are here today, 25 of them are actually native English speakers, or people living in a country where English is the most common language. There's only the Belgians at the end that can actually have their talk, but actually most of them are English speakers. And it strikes me. We're here in Brussels. Shouldn't we have more local people, French people, Spanish people, German people? No, it's not the case. Actually, it's more or less, I think even half of the speakers are American here. And I think as non-native English speakers in Europe, we have a disadvantage here, a big disadvantage, not only as researchers, not only as diplomats, but definitely also as entrepreneurs. Now let's go a little bit further, because what I've just said is one thing, definitely for online entrepreneurs, which is needed. That's actually one common language in Europe to be able to live this European dream. Something else which is quite important, and definitely for me is quite important, is net neutrality. And in the future, this will become more and more important. As we are already talking about it a lot now. I'm not probably the only speaker who's not going to speak about singularity today, but net neutrality is something for the future is, I think, at least as important. What does it mean? It means that the network that we're currently using remains neutral, remains the same for everyone. It's accessible by everyone at the same speed. It's transparent and it's open. And I think this is incredibly important for our future, definitely for the future of online companies, definitely for enabling Europe to have two guys in a garage creating the next Google here. But it's not only that, of course. What we also need, next to net neutrality and next to having a common language, in my opinion, in the future, is a common place where we can all go as online entrepreneurs to build our dreams. And right now, we don't have this European Silicon Valley. It doesn't exist. I don't, whether it's in Dublin Docks or in East London or in Berlin or in Barcelona, I don't care so much. I know that this European Silicon Valley is probably not going to be here in Brussels. But on the other hand, I'm almost spending half of my time now in London, and there's something growing there. There's a lot is changing there, and I really feel that London is probably the most appropriate place to become this Silicon Valley in the future, in the next couple of decades. There's still a lot of work. It's still very small. This is actually East London. There's a lot of companies actually popping up right now, but we still have a long way to go to build this Silicon Valley for European entrepreneurs. And it's quite important, I think. It's not only important because it's one of the most inspirational cities, probably, but it's also important for me that if I pay an employee over there, he will keep 50% more of his gross salary than his Belgian colleagues here. That's something that is often forgotten, but it's incredibly important, of course, for entrepreneurs to be able to employ people and to actually pay them correctly wherever they are. But much more important than that is, of course, the fact that everyone comes together. Smaller and bigger media companies are coming together in one place and inspire each other. Right now, we don't have that in Europe, and it's really a pity, and it's really a place that I'm looking forward to finding. Maybe it's London, maybe it's somewhere else. That's not my biggest issue, but I think really in the future it's important that we actually point out this is the place where you have to be if you want to launch a startup in Europe, in the online or in the media industry. So actually, it's in brief, in conclusion, for me, in the future, to actually have this European dream, we need three things. One is the right place. We need the right language, which probably is going to be English, and which probably means that we all, as consumers, 500 million people, need to become perfect bilingual people. And we also need, of course, the right network, an open, a neutral, and a free network to build new projects on. I thank you all. Thank you very much.